Art is at times seen as a way to address social issues. Craig Dershowitz is the CEO of Arts for Israel, believes it can help convey a message of peace, empathy, and tolerance. His organization is currently hosting graffiti artists from Portugal, Spain, and the US alongside South African talent. And they're running workshops on how graffiti can be used in a positive way. He, along with graffiti artist Fernando Romer, are in the studio with us this morning. Gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. I assume you are Craig and that's Fernando.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Bom dia, Fernando.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
No, tudo bem. Obrigado. Thanks for coming into the studio this morning. Craig, what gave you the idea? What started this idea for you to use graffiti in this way? What sparked this idea?
I was part of the community, and since 2010, we just saw the graffiti community grow. And what I noticed is that it's people from around the world, all races, ethnicities, nationalities, and they seem to have no problem communicating with each other through their creative process in a way that we wish the rest of the world could perhaps do.
Yeah. You know, generally, I must just start there. I know very little about graffiti, but when you talk graffiti in South Africa, in a town like Johannesburg, you always think, but they are painting on the walls, and it's not the proper spaces and stuff like that. How do you take this message of saying, let's use graffiti in a positive way, when you're faced with kind of resistance about it?
That negative stereotype.
Yes.
There's all different types of graffiti. So there's, of course, the larger murals, which tends to be what Artists for Israel and all of our artists do, where you can really give a message. But also the other stuff, the stuff you see on the walls, that's people without a voice speaking up. And it's them talking to each other and interacting with their community. So it already begins that dialogue and starts addressing those social issues.
Yeah, and Fernando?
Yes.
Is the first time you come to South Africa?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'm in love.
And your impression so far, I must ask you that because we love our country.
Yes.
Your first impression of South Africa?
I felt at home. I got off the plane, automatically I started, reading the walls, and I started seeing what's going on. I see that dialogue. Before I came, I did my research, and it was all there. So I'm just happy that there is a community here that does embrace the arts. It starts from the bottom, and then it will reach a point where it'll be more understood and people will be more familiar with it.
Yeah, I understand you're going to be working with young people, and especially this morning or this week you're talking to youngsters at an inner city school. Yeah. Now, what kind of message are you taking to them, Fernando, to inspire them to be able to use creativity in the right way? I mean, the inner cities, at the best of times anywhere in the world, are not easy neighborhoods to live in.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think about the influence or where art really starts, it starts at the bottom. So for us to be going into inner cities and teaching kids how to do art, we're just basically teaching them a different way to think. They're used to doing things a certain way, and we're breaking that a bit, and we're having fun, and we're showing them new tools and different ways to go about doing things. So, we're taking them out of their norm and showing them something different, and who knows what will come out of that. Maybe in the next 10, 15 years, you'll have some of those kids be the next designers, urban influencers, or whatever they are. So, we're just teaching them a different tool. We're just showing them a different way to think.
Yeah. I mean, this morning I've been reading news here about our tough economic times. Our economy is not growing that much. I mean, you look at the world, the rest of the world. You look at England with their exiting European Union. You look at the advent of Donald Trump in the White House in America. The list of global uncertainty just goes on and on. Mm-hmm. Graffiti as an instrument, as a tool for conveying peace and empathy, how can you actually do that? What would be the message they create? How do you actually go about that?
Sorry, Craig.
Any of you.
Well, look at Detroit and, areas like that where, poverty-stricken, basically abandoned, a motor company left and the city was just there, and it was there for about 30 years. It wasn't until art coming in there to the communities and all these artists moving to Detroit, taking advantage of, their possibilities. That's why Detroit is now on the rise. That's why companies are coming in. That's why things are happening. And it all started.
Art played an important part in urban renewal in that space.
100%.
And you think so? Yeah. Craig, your thoughts?
Art also touches a place deep inside of us. I think we put up a lot of walls and barriers, and that's what comes out in kind of our political discussions. But when you see art, you're touched back to that human part of you. You're touched back to that creative mindset, which allows you to see things as perhaps they should be versus that harsh reality in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, some of the colors that you guys use on those spaces are very beautiful, I must say, even if I know very little about graffiti. Local talent, you're working with local talent, Craig, and you, Fernando.
Yes,
they are not in the studio currently. I just want to get a sense from them. How have they welcomed your drive currently, this current program? And will you do it again?
So every time we go to a different country, we make sure we talk to the local talent, because those are the people who know the community best, and we want to show respect. We wouldn't be great to say we're doing fellowship if we're not reaching out to everybody. And it's a small world, the arts world, and they have been...
And so you've been welcomed here?
Oh, please come here. I mean, the problem is trying to figure out where to go and when, because we have too many offers to people to hang out with and paint with.
Yeah, well, we wish you well with the workshop this morning. I understand you'll be at the City Kids pre and primary school with some grade 7 learners. That's in the inner city of Johannesburg this morning. And,
yes, sir.
Yeah,
come visit
enjoy
us.
the rest of your time here in South Africa. And
come pick up a can.
Yeah, we'll teach you.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Craig Dershowitz, CEO of Arts for Israel, and Fernando Romer, a Madrid graffiti artist. Your